Hello, parents. I apologize for not being able to meet you at the open house, but I do have some information here for you that will tell you most of what you need to know about this course. As always, though, feel free to contact me if you would like to speak with me. Call me here at the school or send me an email. I'd be glad to talk to you and answer any questions you have. A few goals I set for the course. Of course, I want the students to learn the calculus and see how it's being used in our world. There's a few examples of that coming up later in the video. I also want them to appreciate it for the great discovery that it is. I think too often students get caught up in just getting the course over with, getting the grade, getting a good grade, getting their homework done, and just getting the credit. But I really want them to appreciate it, and we're going to come up with some activities that I hope will help them appreciate it for the great discovery that it really is. And many of these students will go on to retake calculus or even further into calculus in college, and the goal is to prepare them for that. A few important points. Calculus is a combination of all prior math. There's a quote that I can't take credit for, but I've heard many times, and the quote goes like this: "Show me a student who struggles in calculus, and I'll show you a student who struggles in algebra." Meaning, if the student does not have a strong background in algebra, they are going to have some trouble in calculus, no doubt about it. It is heavily based in algebra. It is a combination of that and trigonometry and some geometry, and it's all put together. We kind of look at it as a pinnacle of their math career. But it is also different. Obviously, calculus is not taught in the algebra courses, and there are new techniques and the new discoveries, and so it is different, but it uses a lot of their previous math skills. Homework, 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 homework. I am a teacher who firmly believes in doing homework, assigning homework, and students spending the time on it. We have to be careful that the students don't just try to get the answers and get the points, because I do give points for them just completing their homework. I don't grade their homework. We obviously go through it every day, though, and if they have any questions, we answer all their questions at the board. We want to stress that the students take the time and try to understand and try to complete every homework themselves, and any questions they have, bring them to class the next day, because the calculus really requires them to put in time outside of class. So I ask you parents to help me with that. I try not to throw too many curveballs on the test. Tests are about once every week, week and a half, and they're based on what they've been doing for homework and what we've been doing in class as examples. So as long as they're keeping up to date, and as I talked about, hopefully, they should be prepared. We do some additional projects along the way to again help bring the calculus to life a little bit, and it's not just notes and homework and tests. Here's some projects that we do. The very first project we do is about the two great mathematicians that discovered calculus, and that would be Gottfried Leibniz and Sir Isaac Newton. And we have the students learn about these two mathematicians in their lives. And they actually role play different parts of their lives to bring it to life. And they also do a debate. Certain students sign up to be debaters, and they debate on who should get credit for discovering calculus. And that usually turns out to be pretty fun. They do a lot of research on that, and they learn quite a bit about each mathematician. You'll have to pardon me for just running a little slow right now. There we go. We do an activity later on where we try to find the minimum amount of aluminum that a company like Coca-Cola can use and still contain the same volume of pop. A lot of people don't realize that this different amounts of aluminum can contain the same amount of pop, the same volume. So we talk about finding a way to structure that cylinder so it contains the same amount of pop, 12 ounces, but uses less aluminum, which could save the money thousands of dollars in the long run, maybe millions. Later on in the course, in the spring here, as the weather gets nicer, appropriately, we do something called roller coaster calculus, and I create some fictitious roller coasters, and the students have to use their calculus skills to find slopes of tangent lines and degree drops. And we answer some nice questions on those, and we actually look at these on our calculator. We actually graph equations that look like the roller coaster on our graphing calculators. And finally, there is a final project in here, and the goal here is for the students to take their calculus that they learned into the outside world and use it. And I give them some different choices that they can use. This is only one of them, where they have to find the volume of an object in the outside world, an unusual volume. And we work on that later in May. Well, thanks for watching the video, and as I said earlier, if you have if you'd like to speak with me personally, please call me or email me, and I'd love to talk to you. Good night.